Ample bottom jeans. This is the mic check. I just want to make sure the mic was working.
Is the mic working?
The mic appears to be working. The game appears to be loud. Now it is not loud. It's just the clicking. It's the clicking of the buttons that's loud. Whenever you click a button, it's the loudest thing, and everything is just a gentle whisper. Shh. We're in the 80s now, right? It's the 80s, so like people are roller skating and going to the disco and seeing the show. That's what they did in the 80s, right? It was like the 70s, but like drugs were beginning to be outlawed. Do I want to wear the new shirt? I don't know. It makes him look like he's gonna get beat up at lunch. Like that's what it looks like. It looks like a school outfit. And he goes to some like private school out on the island. He's gonna get teased by all the kids. And he's got 10 more cogs for that one and 40 more cogs for that one. That is coming up very, very, very quick. But yes, Toony the Tiger, hello, episode 80 something. I'm too lazy to count. You think I'm gonna count these things? You think I care? Toony gotta go do his things. He's gonna go do his things, and we're gonna be along for the ride while Toony does his things. And it's been a minute since I've done a Toony the Tiger episode, and I'm happy to do one now. Especially since not only do I have a lot to talk about, but because I am in a new setting. As you see, this is definitely not the same setting we were in before, am I right? Man, you could go through the Toony the Tiger episodes and try to just figure out how many different backgrounds I've had for all of these episodes. I'm not gonna say how many it is, but whoever guesses the correct amount and puts it in the comments first, I don't know, I'll heart your comment or something. Unless you say something just blatantly racist, in which case you're not getting your comment hearted. So, I don't know, that could be fun. Figure out how many different settings I've had all these Toony the Tigers in. I've only been doing it for 6 years, but I guarantee you there's more than 6 backgrounds. Oh, I came in at the worst moments. I have come in and that guy is leaving as well. Oh, you know what? That is convenient. Everybody's going short. Let's go. That actually didn't take too long. It's weird because Toontown Rewritten had like a huge decline in player base not too long ago. And then for absolutely no reason, it spiked up a couple hundred again. It's weird. Like it was struggling to stay over 1,000, and now it's like a healthy 1,200 again. Which, don't get me wrong, isn't healthy because I remember the game being at 2,000 to 3,000 regularly. But you know what? If it's sitting there trying to keep afloat, trying to keep its head above that 1,000 mark, going. Then so be it. Feel bad though, because Clash has also been kind of at a decline. Like the whole Toontown community has just kind of been at a decline lately, where like every server is having slight problems holding their player base. I mean, the 2 major ones are usually the best examples because all the other ones literally just don't get players. I think I saw someone go on to Toontown Fellowship like a month ago, and they were the only person online. Like there was no staff members, no nothing, just 0. You might as well be playing Toontown offline at that point. And at least with Toontown offline, you can like manipulate things by refilling your gags and giving yourself 137 laugh, you know? It's like, why even do that on a public server? But anyway, if you kind of only keep up with the Toony the Tiger episodes or just are waiting for me to tell stories, because that's what I do in Toony the Tiger episodes, yeah, as you see, this is a new setup. Usually I use the Toony the Tiger episodes to tell the stories, and I use all of the other videos as videos for those specific informational pieces. So it's like I'm not going to talk about the house and the setup and the moving and everything in a video where I'm all like, TTR updated, benches, just doesn't make sense to. But now that I'm on Toony the Tiger, I can tell you guys stories. So let me tell you a story about how we move, because we did. Look at this place. Look. I think it looks pretty good. You can disagree, but I think it looks pretty good. Like this is probably as sophisticated as my setup has been ever. This is one of only 2 times that I've ever had my setup not like 3 feet from my bed, because it would be in the same room. This is a dedicated like streaming room, my own little office, and I like it. I think it's really, really nice. So if you look behind me here, you can see my grand shelf of things that you can try to pick out each thing individually if you want. There's a lot of little knickknacks and gimmicks, some things that change color. You can see like down below here, there's color changing. There's a Mountain Dew body pillow right there. And I just have this big handcrafted just room made for streaming, because you probably don't see it, and I don't show it off too often, but I'll take this moment to show it off right now. I have this whole other side of the room as well, which has got like a little piano in it. You know, it's got some foam on the wall, some pictures. Over there we've got my PlayStation 5 right there. We've got my VR headset in that box, some of my controllers and games with a TV there. So it's a full-on just streaming media room where I can just work and play and do anything and everything I need. I genuinely spend more time in this room than any other room in the house, and it's pretty easy to see why. I can even take a moment to switch to this cam real quick, and I can bring it up and show you my little setup here, where I've got everything in this corner. You see me playing some Toontown with like my stream software up and my big desk and my big windows with my backyard. Very, very nice setup. So I don't know how on God's green earth I was able to get this place, because look at me. Look at me. I play Toontown and I stream Toontown and I make Toontown content, and it just doesn't make sense that I would be able to get like a house like this. It just doesn't. I've legit had someone sit down and do the math one time, and they're like, bro, there's no way. I know how much videos make on YouTube. I know how much Twitch streamers make. There's no way you're affording an entire house, bro. There's just no way. And it's like, you know what? You're right. If I didn't have like all my friends here as well, probably wouldn't be in a giant house. But to be fair, if I didn't have a bunch of friends here, I wouldn't have a need for a giant house. Definitely a little bit of a group effort, but being able to coordinate this, get it all together, and have it be what it is now is definitely a blessing. I can't say I'm not thankful, because I absolutely am. I am. I don't even know how to express my gratitude for just being here in this time and in this moment. But I am already like wasting so much of this time like gushing over the fact that I'm just blessed to be where I am, that I've got like stories to tell you guys. You guys ready for some stories? I love stories. And let me start you off with like this absolutely gross, disgusting story. And this is at the beginning. We're going to timeline this. There are a lot of things that happened between, you know, a month ago and now, which was the last time I was able to record one of these. And a month ago was right as we were getting ready to move. It was about a month ago today that we realized that we were able to get this house, and we were accepted for it, and we were going to go sign the paperwork and everything. Also, I'm going to go turn this in. This is going to be a very momentous time turning in this task right here. He's going to do it. There he goes. He can't be stopped. Oh, he's done it. He has 3 more left than he did before. Okay, well, now he's just got to do 20 more cogs, which VP looks pretty good right about now. So about a month ago, we know that we're going to get the house and we can start the preparations for moving. And we're all really excited, and we start packing up stuff, putting all my stuffed animals and my clothes in boxes and stuff, getting together everything we need. And let me warn you this about moving. Always make sure that you take care of the food right away, because we had the old apartment until about August 12th. However, we also weren't here for like the first week of August because we were on a trip. And in addition to that, the power got shut off at the old place on like August 2nd. All of these are very important key points, because I remember asking somebody, because I don't have a vehicle, I can't go back and forth too much, but I remember asking somebody, be like, hey, can you go back and empty out the refrigerator and make sure that all the food is moved from the old place to the new place before we leave for our trip? I was told, yeah, sure, we're gonna get it done. And then one day I look in the fridge and I see some things that weren't there before, so in my mind, I assumed, yeah, they got everything. I'm also told that we are missing a few things, such as silverware and bowls and cups. And I'm like, must be back at the old apartment that we haven't completely cleaned out yet. Let's go do that, because we only have it for 2 more days. We need to get everything out, otherwise it's lost forever, and we probably have to pay some sort of fee because we left stuff behind. Also, with that being said, we did leave a spare tire in the patio room, and we didn't have to pay extra for leaving that behind, so somebody got a free spare tire. But I walk into the apartment and I'm already like, something smells a little off. And then I remember that in the freezer, I had some chicken. Some grilled chicken already prepared, which you don't want to just suddenly put into a hot box. So when the power goes out, and the freezer goes out, and the fridge goes out, it is no longer cold in there, it becomes warm. Because we live in Las Vegas, which is the middle of the desert, it doesn't become warm, it becomes hot. It becomes a hot box. And when you have chicken that is now already going bad, put in a hot box, the word rancid is an understatement. I barely open the freezer to check to see if there's anything inside, and it's like something died in there. And I straight, like, it is probably the worst smell I have ever smelled. I nearly threw up twice. I had to leave the apartment. I don't know how I can over-exaggerate the fact that there was like a musk in the air from the smell of this bad chicken that just now has eclipsed the whole apartment in just this musky, disgusting, foul, rancid smell. Like, we would be outside the apartment and we knew there was stuff inside, and we had to like hold our breath, run inside, grab some things, put it in a box, and run back out. We were using like face masks, not because of like coronavirus, but because we just didn't want to smell it. But also coronavirus. Guys, do your part. Wear your mask. And that was probably the most like gut-wrenching stench of the whole thing. But do keep in mind there were still like plenty of like Olive Garden leftovers, and like meatloaf, jams and jellies that had gone bad. There was a lot in the fridge. Some milk that was like, you could tell that the milk was already expired due to the date, but then like it was chunky at the bottom and the whole like carton was like inflated and like stretched. I feel so bad because a couple days later we turned in the keys and we were like, it's not my problem. And whoever's got to go in there to clean that apartment so they can get ready for the next person, I feel bad because they're going to physically die. Like, I'm pretty sure if you were to torture somebody by putting them in that room being like, come on now talk, that's probably a violation of the Geneva Convention. It was legitimately that bad. So let that be a lesson, kids. Always clean out and move the food first, because if you don't do it before the power goes out, you're gonna have a problem on your hands. And if somebody else tells you, hey, move the food, you better do it, otherwise you're gonna have a problem on your hands. But again, the reason most of that was a problem in the first place is because we were trying to move as soon as we could at the beginning of the month, because from like the 5th to the 10th, we were gone. We were on the East Coast hanging out with some friends, and my oh my was that a good time. Like, let me tell you how much fun I had on that. And I don't even need to tell you, I can show you. I'm going to do a quick shout out to something I don't normally shout out, but I'm shouting it out anyway. Y'all should follow my Instagram. It's Megasnoop with 3 O's. I've been using it like a lot lately. And I mean like a lot. Not in the sense where I'm like constantly making big posts, but the fact that I've been doing stories again. And the last time I did stories, I think I remember doing stories on Snapchat. I used to like advertise my Snapchat on things. So if you look around, you might still find it. I think on my like Twitter banner, it still has my Snapchat, and I've just been too lazy to change that or get rid of that. But I don't use Snapchat anymore. Don't add me on Snapchat. I do use Instagram though. So I was so used to doing Snapchat stories for a while before Snapchat literally broke my phone. But whenever I went to like Toonfest, or if I went to like TwitchCon, if I went on a group trip with my friends or something, I would be on Snapchat posting stories so people can kind of see the journey we went on and all the fun we were having. And then Snapchat just kind of, you know, was breaking my phone because Snapchat's a bad app. Also, trying to keep up with Snapchat along with 8 other social medias is gross. So I decided to stop keeping up with Snapchat specifically and just got rid of it. And then I didn't have anywhere to post stories to. And then Twitter came out with like fleets, which was like the ability to post a story on Twitter, because everything has to have stories now. YouTube got stories, Twitter got stories, Instagram got stories, Snapchat got stories. Bro, your smart fridge has probably got stories, dude. So I was using fleets for a little bit, getting back in the hang of like posting story updates and having a little fun with that and whatnot. But then Twitter's all like, this was a bad idea, we're gonna get rid of this. So they got rid of it. And I was like, well, I kind of feel like still keeping up with this. So what's the one place everybody is still posting stories and whatnot? And it looked like the answer to that was Instagram. People post their stories on Instagram pretty frequently, and I was like, yeah, I might as well give it a shot. So I tested it out, posting a couple things here and there, and was noticing that even though I had like 1/5 of the following on Instagram that I do on Twitter, there was like twice as many people looking at the post on Instagram because, surprise, surprise, that's what Instagram's used for. That's why people go on Instagram. Whereas Twitter, not everybody's looking at fleets. Fleets were only available on mobile. Not everyone was going to see them anyway. Amazing what happens when you actually use a platform for its intended use, right? Amazing. So with that being said, I'll come back around to what I was talking about with my friend trip. So this is my Instagram. You can go follow it. It's Aaron, Megasnoop, blah, blah, blah. Megasnoop 3 O's. There's always a link down in the description of the video if you're curious. Here's a better look at my background in a picture on my Instagram that I like. Is a very nice background. But you can see the entire trip right here. I posted a lot of story updates. There's about 100 of these. And you can click on that and it'll load. And you can just flip through and see all of the crazy adventures we went on. There was a point in time where like My friends were all singing Gag Shop when we came into the
Don't
Airbnb.
know how to fix it, maybe email support again?
It's cringy, I know, but you can keep up with whatever stories that's going on in my life, and I've been posting there pretty frequently. Like, for instance, there's a cat that thinks he lives here. This is not our cat. This cat has a collar. I don't know where it is. I think somebody removed it. But this cat doesn't, this is not our cat. He just hangs out at our front door all the time. And then I don't know who put this pillow of Nicolas Cage on our couch, but it needs to go. So yeah, follow me on Instagram. And then I've also low-key kind of considered getting a TikTok because I have some ideas that would make fun little TikTok videos as long as I don't get too involved in TikTok. Whenever I make a new song or something, it becomes available on TikTok, and whenever people use it on TikTok, I get royalties for it, so I might as well use TikTok, right? Something about reaching your social media and getting more followers and hoping that they all loop back to your stream. Something like that. But I put a poll on Twitter, and so far, people are against the idea. They really don't want me having a TikTok. I don't know if they're just trying to like save me from some like gruesome fate or whatever, but they do not want me to have a TikTok. They're like, no, don't get TikTok because it'll just hurt you. Like what? I don't know. I just wanted to see people's opinions. If people don't want me to get a TikTok, I don't know, dude. But yeah, going back to it, I did spend a week on the East Coast seeing a lot of different friends. I was really happy to see a lot of them. Well, I shouldn't say it that way because now it sounds like there's like some of them I wasn't happy to see. It's like I showed up and I'm like, oh God, Matt is here. Can't stand that guy. I hope I can stand that guy. I shared a bed with him for 4 days. Matt's a great guy. Follow Gear Up Twitch. But man, we went on all sorts of crazy adventures while we were on the East Coast. I think I started up in New York and worked my way down. We did things like go to Hershey Park, explore downtown of a local city, hit up Atlantic City, baby. Whenever we passed by a Dunkin' Donuts, we were like, Dunkies! And for some reason, everybody decided that they wanted a New York accent. I don't know why. It's just something that they did. But this is like the first big group meetup that my friends coordinated that I know of that wasn't surrounded by some sort of like convention or like Toonfest or something like that. And that's hard to do. Like when it comes down to like a Toonfest or something, you could be like, oh yeah, everybody's going to meet up at Toonfest, and while we're there, we can all hang out. And it's a lot easier for those who are still living with their parents, whether they're like 17 or, 23. Some people still live with their parents, guys, is how it is. It's a lot easier to be like, hey, parents, I'm going to this place to go see Toontown. And then some of my friends are there. As opposed to, hey, parents, I'm going to the middle of nowhere, Kentucky to just be in an Airbnb with strangers on the internet. Like, that sounds so much worse, doesn't it? But I'm almost certain I've said this probably like 100 times since I've been doing streams and videos. And if you have the opportunity to go see some good friends that you made on the internet, don't waste that opportunity. Internet friends are still friends, and you can make some great memories and moments with them just like you can with anybody you met at school or work. I promise you. Those opportunities don't come up all too often. I think I only get to see some of my friends once a year, once every 2 years. I don't know, man. I think the last time I saw majority of the people there were like 2 years ago at the 2019 Toonfest. I saw a couple of them because they came to visit me in Vegas within the past year or so. And then there's some people there that I'd never met before, and I don't know the next time I'll see them again. Some of them I absolutely know the next time I'm gonna see them again. Some of them I definitely don't though. But like the first night we were there, oh, it was so great. My friend Luis was all like, I know how to drink. And then he vomited in the front bathroom. It was fantastic. Oh, it was so good. And then his girlfriend Rena was like, I gotta clean this up because I gotta take care of my poor little, Hispanic boy, whatever he is, Puerto Rican. And it just led to this fantastic picture of us all sitting there playing some blackjack. Like, while she's in the background cleaning up the bathroom. Oh, it's so good. Man, that was just the first night. The days after that, we were doing things like playing Mario Party, played some Ultimate Werewolf. We did like drunk Uno, which was interesting. So we have like these extra cards in our Uno pack that it says take a shot or take 2 shots or something like that. And so it's a wild card, so you can play it whenever, and whenever you put it down, you also have to choose like a color. So you put down take a shot and then blue, it's blue now. And that was pretty fun. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that. Man, I miss my friends. It's always a good time hanging around them, And dude, let me tell you, it's a completely different experience shoving like 16 people in an Airbnb, dude. There's never a quiet moment. You got people going to bed at 6 a.m. and then other people waking up at 7 a.m. Some people just didn't sleep. There was one night I didn't sleep. I was like, I'm here. We're hanging out. We're doing this. I might just have to do like a stream one of these days where I go through like every aspect of that like Instagram story thing and tell you all the little stories that came along with it, because every single little picture has its own story. Whether it's like all the alcohol we went through, the fact that we would go to Walmart and absolutely clean out every single aisle of their Baja Blast. There was like a coffee mug that said that they love butt drugs. Whenever someone didn't want to take a shot because either they were underage, obviously we don't condone underage drinking, or if they just decided they wanted to stay sober that night, we would just shoot them with a Nerf gun instead. And that thing had some power for no good reason. So it'd be like, shot, boom. There was the $40 Taco Bell order that I made that was actually $60, but I had like a ton of coupons, so I had a bunch of free tacos. And I was like, I'm feeding the family tonight, guys, don't worry. And I came back with like 3 big Taco Bell bags full of like tacos. Oh, and there was this great moment, this fantastic moment. Let me turn in this task really quick. This is no, you know what? I'm gonna tell it first. So there was one night where I didn't sleep the night before, because I was just up all night hanging out with friends, making jokes and everything. So instead, I was the one who slept during the day. Everybody else was awake during the day. I was sleeping at like 1 p.m., dude. And all the guys decide they want to go out to the park. And they're out there like playing kickball or dodgeball or shooting hoops or whatever it is they were doing out there. I think there was like a big kickball game or something. And like everybody but me was out here doing this. Like 15 of them were out there playing kickball. And it's time for them to come back, and they realize the one key we had to the Airbnb was left inside, and the door locks on its way out. So I wake up at like 3:15 to like 17 missed calls because everybody is locked out of the Airbnb, and the only way they can get in is if I let them in, and I'm the only one inside. And I'm just passed out from not sleeping the night before. Was that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 different calls. It was ridiculous. Then they tried to call me on Discord as well. Just all the little stories that came into that one weekend was just so, it was so worth it, dude. It was so worth it. Oh, but here we go. Toony the Tiger turning in his final reward. That's it. He's on a clean slate, guys. Look at this guy. He's ready for the big leagues. He's ready to go. Are you ready for it? Because look at this. Now he's on Professor Flake doing the Lawbot tasks. I get to decide whether or not I do that right now or if I do something else instead. I don't know, man. I don't know. That just, it feels weird because I know that means the end of Toony the Tiger is coming up soon-ish, kind of. But I just moved here. I'm in this house for at least a couple of years, guys. I gotta do something to fill that time. Do you think I could stretch out like all of the Lawbot and BossBot suit tasks over the next 2 years? Yeah, absolutely I could. You see how I only upload once a month? It's fine. But I think before I do that, I think Toony goes to play a game of golf because he's never actually gone to play a game of golf before. Those are just some of the stories that came from that one trip. Let me tell you about some of the things that happened right after that. We came home, we got settled in our new house, and as soon as we're settled, we're out again, right? Like, we got people coming to visit and hanging out. We had a couple of my friends, Bob Cheese and my friend Carter, come and visit for Noah's birthday because Noah just turned 23, man. The guy's growing up. He's growing up. And there's a couple things that at least came out of that. Let me tell you how lucky Bob Cheese is at blackjack. So here's the story, right? Our friend Carter is 19. So he absolutely has no ability to go and gamble himself. He can't do it. Like, it's physically illegal. Bob, on the other hand, is over 21, so he can. If he wants to, he can go gamble. So he goes, "Hey Bob, if I give you $40, will you put it on a hand of blackjack?" And Bob's all like, sure. So he gives him the $40. Bob goes up to one table. The minimum bet is like 25, and Bob's like, I don't care, I'm putting down 40 anyway. So Bob goes up to the table, puts down the $40, and the dealer begins to deal. Bob's first thing that he gets is a jack, I believe, which is good. Good start. He's got a jack. He's at 10. It's looking good. It's feeling good. The dealer puts down an ace on their side, and you're like, ooh, that's kind of sketch. What's going on there? She puts down another card on Bob's end, and it's a 3. Bob has 13, and the dealer has a face down card. Bob's looking at this 13, and he knows what he's got to do. $40 on the line, and he goes, hit me. Dealer pulls out a card. It's an ace. Bob is now at 14. Dealer goes, would you like to continue? He's looking at it. He sees the 14. Hit me. Dealer swipes a card. It's another ace. Bob is now at 15. Bob's looking at what they have, an ace and a face down card, and he's all like, you know, they probably have something high. There's no way they don't, right? Like, gotta risk it. You gotta risk it at that point. So at 15, Bob looks at the dealer and just very straight face, hit me. At 15, the dealer pulls out a 6. And Bob hits 21. And Bob walks away a winner in the Las Vegas casino. I don't know how that man was lucky enough to just walk up to a blackjack table on his first ever attempt and just hit 21. Not even like the nice blackjack 21 where it's a face card and an ace, but that man had guts and balls of steel to hit on a 13 and then to hit on a 14 and then hit on a 15. Like, that man went for it, dude. And Bob won 21 on his one and only ever attempt at blackjack in Las Vegas. Who are these random people who were just hanging out in Acorn Acres, like looking for people to golf with? Is this what people do when they're like really desperate to get some trophies? They're like, I'm gonna wait here until some random person hops on a cart and then like piggyback that and like hope for the best to like win the game. Is that what's going on here? Am I getting swindled? Dude, Toony the Tiger's just trying to kill some time so that the Toony the Tiger series doesn't end too quickly, bro. He's just trying his best, dude. But on that same trip, we did a couple other things as well. We went to go see this one movie called Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds in it. And God bless Ryan Reynolds, one of the most beautiful men I've ever seen in my life. I just love most things that he's in anyway, and he's a great actor, and I don't know, he's funny. He's really good at kind of playing that dumbfounded, like, duh, even though he's a pretty intelligent dude, right? But in this movie, I think he really did that well because he's supposed to play an NPC, and NPCs are literally like, no brain, no think, no thoughts. I just do the one thing I was programmed to do over and over and over and over and over again. So it worked for him. It worked for that character. And I'll definitely say this for the movie. A lot of it was fan service. Like, they put things in the movie just to kind of like make fans go, oh, I get that reference. I like that. That's funny. I understand that. First it's telling me to go on Google and Google myself. Why would I Google myself? That's weird, dude. You know, people who Google themselves? That's weird, bro. It's so interesting because a movie like this seems to be like movie junk food. It's not meant to be anything like outstanding or anything groundbreaking. It's just meant to kind of be there and be funny and be silly. But like the actual writing of the movie itself, like the plot, the thought behind it, is actually kind of well done. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty good. And I think most people that I've asked, they're like, yeah, I enjoyed the film. It was good. I had a lot of fun. And then there's like my roommate Noah, who's like, oh, let me tell you about how that was the worst film I've ever seen. And he's like the only person I know that doesn't like that film for some reason. And he's all like, it was fine, but like it was bad. I'm like, dude, it's like a good bad though. It's like a fun. The premise of the film is it's basically like GTA Online, where one of the NPCs ends up getting sentience and coming to life, which is a pretty neat idea. And like that's actually explained why that happens in the movie, and it's a major plot point, etc., etc. But like what really made it fun was like seeing all of the people that we recognize in the film. So like there was like a part where Ninja was in it a couple times, and we're like, bro, it's Ninja! It's Ninja! Pokimane was in it a couple times, and every time Pokimane was up, we're like, oh, it's Pokimane! I wish I was in it a couple times. That would have been cool. But also nobody cares about the Toontown guy, so it's alright. I get it. I get it. One of these days I'll be a large enough content creator to be in a movie with Ryan Reynolds. I can't say that with a straight face. That's not gonna happen. But man, it was a funny film, and so I don't know. It's one of those films that you go see with your friends, and every single time you see somebody like Ninja pop on the screen, y'all like hit each other. You're like, bro, it's Ninja. Bro, look, it's Ninja. Person really just wants me to admit that I'm Mega Snoop, and they'll see it when this video comes out. They'll see it, but like, why are they so like hell-bent in like me confessing it is I, Mega Snoop? Congratulations, you've been blessed with my presence. Like, who cares, you know? I don't know, man. This is a good movie. It was a good movie. Something else that we did, we were going to do it the same day, but we didn't have time because the place closed. But we did end up going to a gun range. And I myself had never shot a gun before, like a real ammunition, very powerful, can harm somebody weapon. I've shot a bow and arrow. I have shot a BB gun. I have shot an airsoft gun. I have shot a paintball gun. I never shot a real gun. Literally looking at your YouTube page. At my what? This person is, oh my goodness. You find some interesting people in the Toontown, I'm telling you. All sorts. I have also messed up that shot. I'm going to lose the game. Yeah, but I made a funny joke on Twitter about like, look, me shoot gun. It's new gag in Toontown. Ha ha ha. Why can't you say I'm literally subscribed to you? What? What? I don't know what they're saying, bro. They're saying words, dude. I don't understand any of it. I'm gonna name this like Toony the Tiger, Toony golfs with a fan. Like, this is gonna be awful. But if you've never shot a gun before, if you have, you definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you've never shot a gun before, you would actually genuinely be surprised with how loud they are. Like, I expect them to be loud, right? I'm gonna just unsubscribe, you're being mean. Huh? I'm crying. I'm crying so hard. They're gonna unsubscribe. I'm crying, bro. I'm crying. If you've never shot a gun before, they are very, very, very loud. Like, even with the ear protection on, with people firing at the range, I could not hear anything from anyone who was 2 feet next to me. And when you get it right there in front of your like face and you shoot it, it makes your ear ring even with the ear protection on. It's crazy loud. I was just shooting a regular good old M4, right? And that thing's got kick. Like, I totally understand like why 3 burst rifles exist now, because of the fact that like if you go on full auto and you shoot it more than 3 bullets, it goes like that. Like, you have to really have a lot of time and patience to put into it to be able to handle that recoil. Like, real guns got recoil, dude. It's not like Call of Duty where everything is just perfect aim all the time. Like, guns go like this if you don't control them. So a lot of the time they do just kind of go the 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am going to go to a different district because oh my invasion. But yeah, it was loud. I can't say like I'm a gun nut now and I'm like, oh, I need all the guns all the time. Yes, guns. We need a gun in the hand of every citizen. Let's go. Because trust me, that experience is not for everybody. But it was still an experience I'm glad I had, you know? But let me tell you about the 50 cal rifle that they had in there. Oh boy. Somebody paid like $50 a shot to shoot a 50 cal rifle, like a couple stands over from the one we were at. The 50 caliber rifle shakes the whole room. The loudest thing I have ever heard that close to me. Like, fireworks are loud, don't get me wrong, but this rifle was just insanely loud. Like, it sounded like a bomb went off every time it fired. And literally, there's so much power coming from a 50 caliber sniper rifle that they fired it once and the whole room shook from one shot. It was kind of nuts. So that was definitely an experience. I took a couple pictures. I saved like my thing. Do I still have that? Where is that? I don't know. I had a target and like I hit the target a few times, right? For it being what, 20 meters out or something. That's not too bad. Half of those were semi-fire, so like all the ones in the middle was me using the semi-fire. And then if it's all sprayed out all over the place, that's because I was on full auto at that point, and you cannot control full auto. But they gave me 20 rounds, and looking at the number of holes here, I think most of them landed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, maybe I had like 25 rounds. I had 25 rounds and I had 23 of them hit, so that's not bad. I don't know, I was thinking of putting this up somewhere, but I have no idea where. But that was an experience. And then Bob and Carter went home, and I don't know next time I'll see those guys either, but they're great dudes, and I love them with all my heart. Is there anything else that I didn't cover? I got a list of things, like different stories to tell. I guess I have one more quick story while I finish up whatever task this is. I want to at least get one of these done. I have not recovered it yet, but I at least want to get one of these done before I end the episode, so that way I can start on the Lawbot suit. But I guess we were with Bob and Carter again. That would make sense, because we were with Bob and Carter for like a few days. And we wanted to get Wendy's, and so we drove by the Wendy's, and we just by driving by, you could tell that the Wendy's was closed. Lights were off. Nobody was inside, no cars in the parking lot for like the people who work there to be there. So we're like, okay, we'll just go to the McDonald's across the street then. So we ended up going to McDonald's. You know, getting a couple dollars worth of food here and there and eating in the parking lot because the inside is closed because they're like, we take coronavirus seriously. Please don't eat inside, but you're welcome to gather outside and be degenerates out there. So we're out there eating McDonald's and we hear a honk come from across the street and we look over and we see in the Wendy's drive-thru one lone vehicle that was sitting there by itself, honking while sitting in front of the drive-through window. And we just couldn't help but giggle to think of the fact that like someone went through the drive-through, pulled up to like where you order, and was like, hello, can I get my order? Hello, why is no one taking my order? Hello. And then decided that since no one was there to take his order, he'd drive up to the window itself and start honking. And he did that multiple times for about 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, nobody's there. They can't take your order because he's like literally honking in an empty building. Like he's gonna get somebody's attention or something. I don't know, dude. But it keeps on honking, and then he slowly drives around and he goes to the front of the building and he's like looking inside. Nobody's there, and does the stupidest thing. He literally pulls around the building and goes back into the drive-thru. And now at this point, another car has come up behind him. Now there are 2 cars in the drive-thru of this Wendy's that is obviously closed. And the first one pulls through again, stops at the window, kind of looks, and kind of goes to the front, realizes they're closed, and eventually drives away. The second one now, for some reason, not learning of the first guy, goes up, sits there, realizes nobody's taking his order, then pulls up to the drive-thru. He's at the window, and he physically like gets out of his car window and starts knocking on the door of the Wendy's, dude. Somebody really wanted their fo, you know what I'm saying? Gotta get a spicy nugs. That he's literally knocking at the window of the Wendy's even though they're closed. Because he's like, bro, I need my Frosty. And he was doing that for about 3 or 4 minutes before he finally went away. And it's just, we're sitting there with our McDonald's this whole time. Like, how do these people not realize the Wendy's is closed? Like, how are you so densely stupid to not just connect the dots on that one? And I don't know, I thought that was funny enough that we put a little recording of that on Instagram as well. That's probably long gone, but I'll try to find it somewhere and see if I can post it so everyone can see it.
Live Channel 5 News with Noah.
So these 2 idiots have been knocking on a closed Wendy's for the past like 5 minutes, and they're going up to the freaking window and going, hey, I need my biggie bag. Where's my 4 for 4? These 2 fucking idiots, dude.
But otherwise, that's all the stories I got to tell for now. Toony made some good progress. This is going to be a long episode, and I am looking forward to editing it on stream. So if you're here on stream and watching me edit this, thank you for being here. If you're watching this YouTube video on YouTube, thank you for watching the YouTube video. I do appreciate it. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and I just want to take this moment to say thank you, everybody, for all the love and support you've given me. Not just recently, but over the past 6 years total, getting me to the point where I am now, where I can continue making these and just having fun doing what I love. And I hope to continue making these for at least another couple of years. I really want to be able to put my all into this, really enjoy where I am in life, and it's literally because of you guys that I'm able to do this. So thank you for the continuous love and support. I hope that you guys continue to support me. I'm going to be working hard to make sure that I'm somebody worth supporting, and that we can continue on this path of greatness and of fun and of content and connections that we're making along the way. So there's a lot of interesting and exciting things coming up in the next couple months. I'm not going to say too much, but I guess you'll hear it on the next Toony the Tiger, won't you? I do appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome, God bless, and peace.